Hello guys. Can someone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hello.
Hello, yes.
Okay. Thank you. So let's give them some more minutes so that they can join before we get started.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So, good evening. I think we'll just get started. Those who are about to join will just join us as we continue. So, if you can hear me, just type hi so that I can know if everything is set for us to start. So, if you can hear me, just type hi and confirm that you can see my screencast. Okay, thank you. I can see that everybody is able to hear me and everybody can see my screen. So guys, thank you for attending this event where I'll be taking you through getting started with GitHub and GitHub Copilot. So this is my first event that I'm hosting virtually as a Microsoft Student Ambassador. So let me play my presentation so that you can get to see clearly. Well, so most of you don't know who I am. So my name is Omolo Cliff Oganda. I'm a student at Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, that is JKUAT. My course is computer technology, and I am a Microsoft Student Ambassador at JKUAT. So if you're having JKUAT in the house, I hope you'll say hi at the end of the meeting. Yes. So on today's event, I wanted to take us through GitHub and the GitHub Copilot. And the agendas for today will see what's GitHub, after which we'll download and install Git. We'll then configure Git, that is using our email and username. Then we'll go to the next step, that is signing up for GitHub, how to initialize a Git repository on your local machine, how to add your files to your Git repo, committing your changes to the repository, pushing your code to GitHub repository. So basically, what is GitHub? From my screen, you can see that we have GitHub is a web-based platform that allows developers to collaborate on projects and share code with one another. It is a version control system that provides a platform for software developers to store and manage their code, as well as track changes to their code over time. It also allows developers to work together, including tools for code review, issue tracking, and project management. GitHub is used by millions of developers around the world to contribute to open source projects, collaborate on private projects with the teams, and showcase their work to potential employers. So that's what basically GitHub is. So GitHub is a platform that will allow you to work on a project collaboratively with another team or another member whom you wish to collaborate on your project. So it is a version control system, to mean that, let's say we are building an app or a website, and then for us to build the app, it will be built in stages, meaning we'll have different releases of the app. So assuming we have the first release of the app, let's say version 1.0.0.1, and then later on you get your customer feedback suggesting that maybe you should add a feature or make it premium for other users or to fix a bug. So this is where GitHub comes in that you will have to control your code to allow the initial release of the app to continue being used. At the same time, you are working on the same code base of the existing app to add the new feature or to correct the error or solve the bug that has been reported by your customers as a feedback. So that's basically GitHub, what it is. Another thing if you're having a project, let's say a good example is you are a Kenyan here, or you are in any other country in the part of the world, and you're working remotely with a company, let's say in India, USA, Sweden, or anywhere. The only way through which you'll be able to work remotely on the same code base of the company is using GitHub. This means that as a developer, GitHub is part and parcel of your daily life, and there's no way you can run away from GitHub. So that was a brief intro of what GitHub is. So let's see how to install and download Git. For us to download and install Git, we need to go to this link here, git-scm.com/downloads. So I think I will take you direct so that you can see how the site looks and where we should download the Git. So just a minute as I share my browser window. So for us to download Git, you need to come to your web browser. For example, for me, I'm using the Brave browser. I like it because it blocks a lot of ads for me. So there's minimum distraction. So I'll go to Google and then let it load. Then I'll just type download Git. Then on your first search result, we have Git downloads here. Click on that. Then you can see it brings you to a new page that has the download option. So you have to take note that if you are using the kind of operating system that you're using, some of you could be using Mac OS, some are using Windows, some are using Linux or Unix. So you have to choose the version of the OS that you are using. So for example, for me, I'm a Windows user. So I have to click on Windows. And the good thing with this website is that it will detect automatically the OS that you're using. For example, for me, it has detected that I'm using Windows operating system. You can see right here, I have download for Windows. So you just click either this one or this one here. So just click download for Windows, then give it time to load. Depending on your network, give it time. Then click to the new page here, where you select the version of your Windows. For example, we have machines that are 32-bit, then we have 64-bit. So you have to check, are you a 32-bit user or 64-bit user? So in case you don't want to check that, you'll just ask that question on the chat so that will help you later at the end of the session how to check for the version of your computer. So if you're 64-bit, for example, my computer is a 64-bit machine. So I'll just click 64-bit for Windows setup. You click on that. Then give it time to load. Depending on your internet connection and the speed, whatever, it should take minimum time because it's a very small file. So once it's downloaded, I won't download it because I already have mine installed here. So I'll just escape that so that it doesn't download. So once you download and have it on your machine, then what you need to do, I'll show you what to do next. You'll have the files in your downloads. You'll have the file in your downloads. So once you have the file there, click on the file, and then it will ask you if you want to make changes to your PC. Just say yes, then follow the prompts that will be provided to you, like the location where the file is to be installed. And I think only that will be asked. Then click next, 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 and finish. Then you'll have your Git installed. Then after it's installed, we need to check and see that our Git is successfully installed. So to do this, you need to open your Windows terminal. To open your terminal, you can press on your window key and R all at once. It will spin up your terminal. Then on your terminal, just type Git space slash hyphen V. I will show you this practically so that you can see how that is done. Let me show you that practically. Let me show you how that is done practically. Yeah. So this is my terminal. So if this is my terminal, for me to check that my Git is installed, you just come your terminal and the prompt, just type Git space, then the dash V. Then it will give you a Git version number that is installed in your computer. If you get an error like the command is not recognized by your system, it means that you haven't installed your Git correctly. Or you can also type Git space double hyphen then version. It should still give you the same version number. So if you type this on your terminal and it gives you this as the feedback, it means that you have successfully installed your Git into your computer. So that's it. So after installing Git, what next should we do? We should now configure. Hello, Kerry, please mute your mic. Kerry?
Okay, fine, I've muted.
Okay, thank you. So after installing Git, the next thing to do is that we need to configure our Git so that it can have our username and our email address. And why do we need to do this? Because when you collaborate on a project, the only way that the contributors to that project will know whoever did what at what specific time, then it's through your email and the username. So let me show you how to do that. So we already installed our Git. The next thing we're supposed to do is to configure our Git. The next step is to configure your global username and email. Open your terminal and input the following commands. So using the same procedure that I used to open my terminal, you will open your terminal and then type this command here, git config -- global space user.name and then your name. Now you replace your name with just name. For example, Omolo Oganda. I'll have user.name in quotes Omolo Oganda. Then git config -- global user.email, then your email at example.com. Replace your email at example.com with your personal email. If your email is johndoe@email.com, that is what you input there. And then just press enter and it should be configured. Are we together up to there? I hope so. After which, we need to confirm whether our configurations are correctly configured. So to do that, we need to use specific commands to confirm that our configurations are correct and that we are good to go. So for us to check our configurations, the same procedure, open your terminal by pressing a combination of your window button key and R key. Then you type cmd, it will open your terminal. And then you type the following command into your command prompt, git space config space -- global space -- list. If it returns your username that you set in the previous step and the email that you set in the previous step, then it means your configurations are successful and you are now ready to use your Git without any problems. So let me show you a demo of mine, confirming that all my configurations are good and I'm ready to use my Git. So let me share my screen for the terminal so that we can see that everything is fine and working. So what I'll do, let me share. So I'm here. So for me to confirm that my configurations are all okay and working, what I'll do, I'll simply type git config -- global -- list. Very nice. You can see it returned my configurations. User.name is Omolo Cliff Uganda, and user.email equals to cliffosego2000@gmail.com. If you can reach at this point where you can actually list your configurations, then you have successfully installed Git, configured it, and you're ready to start collaboration. Until that point, do we have any question until that point? Any question or clarification that you may need until that point? Anybody having a question? Thank you. It means we are good. So let's move on to the next step because we are about to start exploring GitHub Copilot. So that's it with the Git. So they say, talk is cheap, show me the code. Now I want us to do it practically. I want us to now show you how you can set up your project to be tracked using Git before we finally move to GitHub, where we'll deploy our code for hosting or collaboration. So if you don't have a question, we move on to setting Git in our project. So what I'll do, I'll show you my VsCode. Okay, can you see my VsCode window?
Yes.
Very nice. So this is a project, a React project that I just spinned up for the demo. I haven't interfered with anything inside here, and I haven't tracked it using Git. So you open your folder, create a project. For example, I created my project to be React. This is my React project. It has no any other code added to it. So because maybe I wanted to collaborate on this project with somebody, or I want to push it to GitHub. The first thing I need to do, I need to open my terminal within my VsCode. How do I do this? You can use the shortcut on your keyboard. Press the Control and the tilde key. Let me close because it's already open. Just press Control and the tilde key. It will open my terminal. The tilde key is the key that is just below the escape button. It's like a wigged dash. I hope you cannot see that. Or you can come to View, then click Terminal. It will still open the terminal for you. That's it. So once you're in the terminal, you need to ensure that your terminal is currently at the root folder, the root of your project. So if you can see from my Explorer here, the root of my project is Copilot test. That is the folder containing all my source codes. So I need to navigate into that folder. So on my terminal, just type change directory cd, then the name of the folder, Copilot test. Very nice. You can see that we are now where? Copilot test, the folder. It means that we are in the directory of my project. We're now there. Now that I'm there, and I want to tell Git to start tracking my project. What do? You need to initialize Git in your project. How do you do that? Just type Git space init. You can see Git initialized empty Git repository in this folder. At that point, I hope we are on the same page. So once you've initialized your Git, it means that now Git will start tracking every change that you make in this project. And you can see there's already a change in my Explorer here. You can see everything is you, everything is you. It means that all my files are unstaged. Are you together until that point? So once I've initialized my folder to be tracked by Git, then what next do? I need to tell Git which files should it track. In my case, I want Git to track every file in my folder. To do this, we will use a command that is git add. So on my terminal back here again, I'll just type git add. And then what do I need to add? For my case, I need to add every file inside this folder. So if you want to add everything, then after the add, just press space, then the key or the full stop. This means that you're telling Git that add everything, track everything in my folder. Now, before I press enter or execute this command, I want you to take a keen look on the left pane where I have my directories. You can see everything is as having a tag u. It means everything is everything is unstaged. And then also check after I execute this command here. So let me press enter to execute the command to tell Git to add and track every file in my folder. Now you can see everything working copy. Okay, now it's executed. Now if you can see back to the directory where we were, I want to take a keen look there. Back to the directory where we were. That is in VsCode, in this directory, File Explorer here. Initially, it was U, meaning unstaged. And after adding all the files in my folder, the tag changes to AAA. What does AAA mean? It means that all the files in my folder are already added to the staging area. Are we together until that point? It means they are ready to be tracked. I've already told Git, I want you to track these specific files in my folder. And that's why we're having the A tag. It means, okay, fine, I understood you. And I've added all the files to the staging area. I hope nobody's left behind until that point. So first we did init, then we add the files to be tracked. After that, what do? We need to now authorize Git and tell it, okay, Git, I think my code is working fine. I need you to commit all the changes to the directory. To commit, it means it's like telling Git that, okay, now Git, this is the new version of my source code. And to do that, we need to type a command known as git commit. Now back to your terminal here, down here, where we've been typing our commands. So let's go back there and do the committing stage, committing all our files so that they can be actually now be tracked. At this point, they're just added but not tracked. Now I want to commit the changes. So just come here and type git commit. git space commit, then -m, that's a flag M, git commit. For you to commit any changes, you must attach a message to that commit. For example, you are having a website or an app with the title, let me say, Introduction to Git. And then you change your mind later and say, okay, no, it is not Introduction to Git, it is Introduction to GitHub and GitHub Copilot. Now, what's the message? That's where this flag M comes in. Okay, git commit. What are you committing? So what will I say? Change the name from Git to GitHub. So open the quotes and say, change the name from Git to GitHub, and then close the quotes. Why do you have to do this? This will tell anybody also collaborating in your code the kind of changes that you made, so he can know what next step to take. Change the name from Git to GitHub. So if I'm the one collaborating in your project, I will know, okay, so and so simply change the name from Git to GitHub. So once you have your command this way, git commit flag M, open the quotes and then the commit message, press enter to execute that command. Very nice. Now you can see back to our directory here, all the tags are gone. All the tags are gone. It means now our code is clean, everything is tracked, and there's no any untracked file here. Are we together? It means that we've tracked every single code in our project. You can see we have create mode, everything starts there. That is it. But for you to confirm that is everything tracked actually, you can do a git status. See, okay, what's the status of your project? Just go back to your terminal, type git status, and press enter. On branch master, there's nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. It means every file, every source code in your project is tracked. Now, I wanted to do something different. I want to make a change to this app.txt file, and let's see what happens. Take note that in the left directory here, there's no any tag. It means our working branch is clean. So I want to come here. Let me say here, I want to add a new h1, no, let me use h3 tag and say we just tracked all files. All files. What have we done? We've actually made a change to our source code. Now let's go back here. Which file did I change? I changed app.jsx. If you look at the directory here, we have app.jsx and a tag there, m. M means that we've actually modified that file, and that modification is not yet tracked. To confirm this, come back to your terminal here and type git status again for us to know the status of our project. Very nice. You can see changes not staged for commit. Modified this file here, app.jsx. Now you can see git status command will tell you the number of files that have been modified and whether you have any untracked files. So we haven't tracked the change that I've made in the app.jsx file. So I want to track it. What do? I simply come back to my terminal again. Take note we're having m here. Then git, remember it was add, space, period. It's added. Then let's check the status of our project again. Its status. You can see it's already added. From before it was reddish, you can see that, and now it is green. It means we've added it to our staging area. Then after staging area, remember what we did? We do commit. Like, okay, I'm fine with the code now. Can you commit it? I mean, make the changes. So I come here and just say git commit. Remember, we have a message for the commit. Flag M, open the quotes and say, what did we do here? We added a h3 tag. Mention that. Added a h3 tag. Close it, press enter. Very nice. You can see our tag that was here, the M tag, is now gone. It means that everything is tracked in our file, in our project. Yeah. Until that point, do you have any question from anybody? Any question or any clarification that you might need? Anybody? Yes, Kerry, you can unmute your mic and ask the question.
Okay, my question is,
okay,
when you are adding your, or when you are staging the changes or whatever that is new in the project,
okay.
why are you using a period, a full stop? Can you, is
Okay.
there another different way you can use?
Yeah, there's a different way, but the most common way is using the period. You know why? Because if you start using frameworks, let's say like React is a library for JavaScript for developing front-end applications, I mean the UI. It comes with a number of files in the boilerplate. You understand? So for you to add each single file, it means you'll have to do something like, let me show you, something like git add, then first file app.jsx, comma, go to next file index.jsx, comma. Imagine you having around 20 files. It means you have to mention all the files here before you actually execute the command. So the reason why we choose to use the P, it will track everything in our project. So it makes your work easier, plus saves you a lot of time and energy. Did I answer your question?
Yes, wow, you've answered it.
Yeah, thank you. Any question from anybody? Any other question? Any clarification up to that point? If you have a question, just unmute your mic and then let me know. Let's, where is typing? Let's see the question. Okay, how do you collaborate with others? Okay, I'll talk about that at the end of the session, because this one was still about intro to Git and GitHub. So Gloria, just allow me, I'll talk about how to collaborate with others at the end of the session, and then we can do another event where we'll all collaborate on a project practically so that everybody can get to understand how to collaborate. I'll address that at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Gloria. So there being no other question, let's go to the next agenda for the day. So you all understand how to download and install Git. We all know how to track our files in our project. We all know how to add our files to the staging area, how to commit the changes. Very nice. So let's move to the next step, where we have how to host your code to GitHub. Now you have Git and this GitHub. There's a big difference between Git and GitHub. Git is the local tracker, that is the version control on a local machine. It means you only use it yourself. Nobody can collaborate in your code. What if you want to collaborate on the code that someone has hosted, or you want somebody to join you and help collaborate in your code in building that good project that you're having? You must host it somewhere where each and every person, every contributor can have access to that code base for contribution. That's where GitHub comes in. So GitHub is just a cloud-based version of Git. And GitHub uses Git to track for any collaboration. Are we together? So let's see how you can actually have a profile on GitHub and then create your profile, and then we'll create a repository on our GitHub. So a repository is just an alias for a folder. In your local machine, it's known as a folder. On the GitHub, it's a repo. It means, it's on the cloud, it's online. Everybody can have access to it if you grant them access, and everybody can now collaborate with you. So for us to start using GitHub, we need to create an account. So go to your browser. Let me share how you'll do it. Let me show you how we'll do that. Yes. So I like Google. Just go to Google and then type GitHub. I should use something. Okay, let me just do this. GitHub. So on the first search results, you'll have GitHub. https://github.com. That is this. That's the link. Click on the link. I think this won't help because I already have my own GitHub account. Let me open a new private window so that we can actually do that. Let me share. Just a minute. Just a minute. Very nice. So if you visit github.com, this is what the first window that will greet you. So just come here, sign up, click on that. Then give it time to load, and then it's loading. Then let's see how we can create. We're joining GitHub. GitHub, actually there are around 50 million GitHub users. So you can see we have here, enter your email. Let's say my email, I don't have an extra email, so let's say john@gmail.com. Click continue. Let me see. Very nice. .com, continue. Then create a password. Type any password that you think you remember easily. Let me show you something. Just type a password. So once you type a password, click continue. Actually, I can't create a new one, but it's quite simple. Just follow the prompts, and then you'll have your GitHub account ready. Once it's ready, the next thing you should do is to create a repository. Now let me go back to my personal account for GitHub so that I can show you how to create the repository so that you can start collaboration. Oh, there's a question?
Yes, I have a question before you continue.
Okay, Gloria.
So you've said you want to create a
repository. Hello, Gloria. Unmute your mic. Gloria. Hello, Gloria. Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, since Gloria is offline, but let's continue. When she's back, we'll continue with the question that she had. So this is now my GitHub account, my personal GitHub account. So I will show you how to create a repository so that the code that we've just tracked in our VsCode, we can now push it to GitHub so that in case we're interested in inviting other contributors, then they may be able to join and contribute in our code. So this is the first page that will greet you once you've registered for your GitHub profile. Then you need to navigate here. Come here on the top right hand corner of your window. We have your repositories. Click on your repos here. You see where I am? After your profile, we have your repos. Click on that. So here you'll have a list of all your existing repositories. You can see all my repositories are here. All these are my files I'm tracking. And for repositories, I have to host them here. So after coming here, you can see here, find a repository. And then to the right, we have new, this green button here. Now I want to create a new repository for the project that you were just tracking on VsCode offline. So I'll come here and click on new. Then it's simple, create a new repository. And then just come here, leave alone this owner. It's me, it will reflect your name. Someone asked a question. Okay, let's continue. So it lacks the repo name. So for our repo, let's call it the same name as our folder, Copilot test. Check if it's available, and yeah, it means that we can actually use that name, Copilot test. Description, come here, though it's optional. Let's say a test of GitHub Copilot. Then make it public or private. For this case, let's make it public. And then just scroll down, click this button here, green button, create repository. Click on that. You can see it's loading. Very nice. So top here, you can see we have Osego Tech. That's my GitHub username. Then the repo name is Copilot test. And then you have all the guidelines here on how you can actually push your code from the VsCode that is locally hosted in your machine to GitHub. So this is a create new repository on the command line. No, that one, no. All we want here, push an existing repo from the command line. It means we already have a code that is existing on our VsCode. Now we want to take that code to our GitHub so that we can make it available for others to collaborate. Are we together? So you have all the commands here for doing that. What do we do? Git remote add origin. Then this is the URL for your repository. So what you do, come here, copy this, right click, copy, and then back to your VsCode. Back to your VsCode. Let me share the VsCode again so that you can see. Back to your VsCode. There, in the terminal, paste the command that you copied, Ctrl V. You can see git remote add origin and the URL. Press enter. Very nice. Then let's go back to our GitHub again. We copy the next command. I'll show you the next command is git branch main. Copy it. So come back here again, copy and paste git branch main, flag M main. It means now we are switching from our master branch to main branch. Don't worry about the branches. I'll do another session on how to understand the branches. Press enter. Now you can see we are no longer having master here, but we're having main. Very nice. What's next? We copy the next command that we had. Git push origin main. Coming back to my terminal and pasting the command. We have the command here, git push upstream. The flag used means upstream, origin main. Now I want to explain this a bit. Git push upstream origin main. This means that we are actually now taking our code locally, pushing it upstream. Upstream is now the GitHub to the main branch. The origin is this URL here, but in that origin, in which branch? The main branch. So just press enter and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Very nice. You can see it's done. Counting objects 100%, 21 done. It means once you see this branch main set up to track origin/main, it means that you've successfully pushed your code from the local VsCode or your local repo to the remote repo, which is hosted in the GitHub. So let's go back to our GitHub and confirm if actually our code has been tracked and it's there in the GitHub. So I'll switch back to my browser so that we can confirm whether our code is actually now hosted on GitHub. Let me do that. I'll stop sharing this, then I'll share the new browser window where we were. Nice. Remember, guys, we were here. Now I've done all this. I've copied and pasted all these commands in our VS Code. So I'll just click on my repo again, click that one, Copilot test. And we want to see if all of our code is present in the GitHub. Very nice. Look, here we have everything. Public SRC. Now let's open the SRC so that we can confirm. Remember, we had a file called app.jsx. See here, app.css, app.jsx. Click on that. We want to see what is contained in app.jsx. Very nice. You can see our code is now in our GitHub. Remember this one when we added it, H3, we just tracked all files. So it means everything, all the code we had locally in our repo is now made available remotely on our GitHub profile. So after doing this, the next step is now to invite someone else, other team members, other collaborators to come and join you in building your React app or any other app that you are working on. So we moved our code from the local repository all the way to our remote repository. Until that point, any question? Any question until that point? Any question? Hello guys, any question please before we continue to Copilot?
Just to confirm, can I ask a question on the branches at this point? Hello.
Hello, Fidel. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Please ask your question.
I was inquiring about, it was a question on the branches.
About
let's
the
say
branches.
Yeah, can I ask it?
Okay. Yeah, please ask.
Let's say someone made another branch on his repository, and that the branch he made, I'm supposed to use that branch, and I cloned the repo and I did some modifications. Now I'm supposed to check out to the branch that I'm supposed to use, the remote branch. I was asking how can I check out to that branch?
Okay, so it's actually a whole data topic altogether. But what happens? Let me just do a summary so that you can have an idea before I actually hold another event on talking about branches and collaboration, right? Yeah. So for you to collaborate on a project, first you must either have an invite for collaboration, or you can clone the project, right?
Yeah.
So once you clone the project, the best practice is that you have to make your own branch. Let's say you're having a project and you have your own branch. Let's say you are working on something like the login feature. So you'll do Git branch. It should actually be Git branch. Let me do it practically so that you can see, okay?
Yeah, sure.
Let me do it practically so that you can see. Let me switch back to my VsCode. Just a minute. And in any case, anybody else having a question, please feel free to ask that I'm done answering this one here. Can you see my VsCode?
Yeah, I can see it.
Very nice. So in this case, look at this. We are in the main branch. Do you know how to check this? You come here, you can see on the bottom left, you see what we have here, main, right?
Yeah.
Can you see that? It means that currently we are working on the main branch. Now, if you're collaborating, you shouldn't work on the main branch. You should actually create your own branch that your changes must be isolated from the main file. So we want to create a new branch so that we can work on a separate branch from the main code. So there is a command for doing that. Git out flag B means branch, and then the name of the branch. Let's say login. Just press enter. Switch to a new branch. Now let's go back to the bottom left. What do we have here? Login. Do we see? This means that from this point onwards, if we make any change here, I personally, because I'm the one now branching the actual code, if I make any change here, it won't affect the main branch. Instead, it will only be tracked in my login branch. It's until then, once I'm satisfied that whatever I was working on is done and complete, and it's working, I can then now push this to the main branch. At this point, is now you do something called, you open a pull request. It means that your branch is having certain changes that you wish to be merged to the main branch. So you are asking the owner of the project to please merge your changes. If you reduce all the changes and accept them that they are all okay, then once it's merged, it will take all your tracked files from the login branch and combine them with the main branch. So basically, about the branching, checkout, pull request review, commenting, and all the sorts, even just doing a review and merging is a whole bigger topic again that I think we should organize again so that we can actually do it with you guys practically here so that everybody can see how actually branching and collaboration works. It's like the same question that who had it was someone had the same question. It was yeah, Gloria had the same question. So that's it for the branching. But I'll do another event where we can do an in-depth analysis of how to go about branching, right?
So, but can you just confirm something just briefly?
Okay.
The question was how you can use a remote branch.
A remote branch.
Yeah. How you
like
can...
let's say you are on a big code.
Yeah.
Let me say you're on a code base that has a lot of branches, and then you want to clone a specific branch.
Yeah.
That will expect me to have a project that we have to do that. But this, let me show you. But though I'm not being practical because I don't have a project that I want to clone, it should be there's a command git checkout space double dash then single branch and the branch name. Let's say it's a register. And then you paste the URL of the Git of the remote repository here. Fidel, can you see?
Yeah.
Git checkout single branch, the name of the branch, and then you paste the URL of the repository here. Are we together?
Sorry, you are lagging a bit. Probably you can just copy paste for me the code in the chat.
Okay, let me show you. Mayona, have you seen it?
Yeah, nimeona.
Yeah, that's the code that used to clone just a single branch.
So this will clone a remote branch.
Yeah, a remote single branch, like a specific branch.
Oh, so.
Yeah, but if you want to clone the whole project, actually there's a problem here. This should be git clone single, git clone, not checkout, git clone. Okay, sorry. Git clone. So if you want to clone the whole project, just do git clone, then the URL here. For a single branch, git clone. Okay, check the chart. You can see the charts.
Yeah, I can see the chart.
Yeah, git clone single branch, the name of the branch, and then the URL of the repo. That's it. Your question is answered now, right?
Yeah. Can you do the same thing with the like navigating via the bottom left part that you are showing?
Yeah.
Is it possible to like do it via that?
Okay. Yeah, it will be possible if you have the whole project existing after you clone the whole project.
Yeah, like I can see it. Like I can see it.
You can see up here, right?
Yeah.
You see up here, I have my login and main. But if you're working on a remote project, for you to do using this procedure, you have to clone the whole project first. Git clone, then the URL. From there and then, it's when you can now switch using this GUI here, right?
So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. So, the question, can we move to Copilot really quick? If we are ready for that, can someone type yes here so that we can do the Copilot? It's the most interesting part. Very nice. I can see everybody's ready for Copilot. Thank you. Let's do this. So I'll switch back to my presentation so that you can have a brief of Copilot before we actually do the practicals. So let me come here, stop sharing, and I'll share my presentation once more. Let me share my presentation once more so that you can know what exactly is Copilot. Yes. Very nice. GitHub Copilot. Anybody ever used GitHub Copilot before? Anyway, so GitHub Copilot is an AI tool that uses machine learning to provide intelligent suggestions and auto-completion for developers while they are writing code. It is powered by OpenAI's GPT-3 generative pre-trained transformer 3 language model and works as an extension for Microsoft's Visual Studio Code editor. So it's basically an AI tool that uses OpenAI's GPT. Like most of you know, or most of us know is that ChatGPT. Yeah, it's based on ChatGPT. Now it helps in suggesting the codes based on the context that we are in. For example, if you are writing a JS code, it will already know that, okay, using the extension, let's say your extension is index.js, it will already know that this now is a JavaScript file, and any suggestions that you'll be making will be confined in the context of JavaScript files. So that's briefly about Copilot. Let's see what's next we have. Copilot uses natural language processing, or NLP, to understand the context of the code being written and suggest code snippets, function calls, and even entire functions to complete the code. It can help developers be more productive by reducing time and effort required to write complex code. That is simple and clear. I need not to explain any further. Let's see something else about GitHub Copilot. Then we can do the practical bit, and then we call this session a successful one. So GitHub Copilot is not designed to replace developers, but rather to augment their skills and improve their workflow. It is still in the early stages of development and may not be perfect, but it has the potential to revolutionize the way developers write code by providing intelligent suggestions and reducing the cognitive load required to write the code. That's it. Like when using GitHub Copilot, it will save you a lot of typings, a lot of thinking, because the moment you just start typing and your Copilot is turned on, it will give suggestions from which you can choose, and then the code is automatically written for you. Really quick, we want to do the practical bit. Now, GitHub Copilot is fine-tuned with open source. It means that it was developed using open source projects so as to understand the context of the languages that it will be using. If it's JS, it will know that this is the JS. If it's a Python.py, it knows this is a Python file. If it is C, PPP, C++, and whatever. GitHub Copilot generates novice code based on context. Just like I said, once you name your file index.js, it knows the context to which it should be thinking. .py, it already knows the context. Again, if you already have existing code and writing something just for the existing code, to be able to suggest what is most appropriate for your code. Copilot is compatible with VsCode and other JetBrains IDEs like WebStorm, PHPStorm, PyCharm, Ion, so you can try that out. But today we'll be using VsCode. It can be used with GitHub Codespaces. Codespaces, I think you all know, this type of development that you don't have to install any IDEs. You just go to your GitHub and you spin up your project. You have all the tools, everything needed for you to develop right in GitHub. Again, GitHub is premium service, a premium tool. I mean, like you have to pay for it, but it's free for students. So I'll show you how to get the free Copilot if you're a student. If you have the student status, I'll show you how to do that so that you can have access to GitHub Copilot. Enough with the talk. Let's go to our VS Code, do something with GitHub Copilot. Let me switch back to VS Code. Before I switch back to VsCode, I want to show you how to create an account. No, sorry, let's do VsCode first. Okay, sorry. Let's do the practical bit first. Okay, very nice. So for you to use Copilot in your VsCode, first you need to install the extension for GitHub Copilot. So in your VsCode, go to the icon for extensions, click on that. Then on the search bar, just type GitHub Copilot. Give it time, give it time. You see we have here GitHub Copilot, the first research result. That is what you will use. Click on that. Then you can see my Copilot is already installed. This is what we have. But yours will tell you here install. Mine is installed and it's enabled. So come down below on the bottom right corner, you can see I have the icon, the brand for Copilot. If I click on this, activate Copilot, it means it's active in my code base right now. And then for you to use GitHub Copilot, you need to have access to Copilot and sign up for Copilot. So before we do that, let's do the practical bit first. Then I'll show you how to sign up and get access to premium Copilot for students. For non-students, you actually have to subscribe. It's $10 per month, I guess. So let's do something and see. I'll close that tab. So like I told you before, let me close my terminal. This one was the React project. There's something I've added here. It's the boilerplate that comes when you spin up a React project. So I'll run my project. My projects. It's not a React course, so don't worry. I'm running the. I just want us to see what happens. This Copilot. I wanted to write code really quick using Copilot so that you can see how important Copilot is to your development. It will save a lot of time, a lot of energy. So let's do this. Just a minute as my service being open, right? It's open. So I'll open it there. All right. So guys, so this is my project. This is a React project, and I want to create a component so that you can see Copilot in action. So let's say I'm building a website that should use the React. So I want to have a navbar component because I'm naming it a component because a navbar should appear in all the pages that you navigate to. It means like that should be a component in React. So I'll simply come to components here, add a new file, and let me say this navbar.jsx. Very nice. So there's something here we want to do. Export default. Did you notice something? Anybody? Hello? Anybody notice that I didn't type function navbar, but it's already there? Type yes if you notice that it was there it's there automatically. Just type yes in our chat section. Okay, yes, nice. Now, at that point, you can already see that I don't have to type function navbar. The moment it gives the auto suggestion and it's correct, press tab to mean that you accept the suggestion. So I'll close that way. Then I press to the new line. Then the next thing for a React project, there's something I've typed there. Look, what do we have there? Return. Exactly that's what I want. I wanted to type next, return, if whatsoever. So I'll simply type tab. So it's already giving me something there. The return, I didn't type anything, but it suggested that it's return. Very nice. Now, I don't want what we have inside here. I want to make my own. So in this case, we are designing a navbar. A navbar should have a navbar tag. Navbar tag. So I'll do this nav. I close it that way. Then you see already it's giving me a UL, another list. That is what I needed. Press tab. Then I'll simply close the UL. Then inside the UL, what do we need? This is interesting. Just see, it's already giving me a list home. Let's assume this is what we wanted. Press tab. Press enter. About, just tab. There's nothing I'm typing, just tab. Guys, do you see how easy it is working with the GitHub Copilot? It already thinks like, okay, create a navbar. A navbar should have something like home, about, services, contact. It will suggest for you everything. Very nice. So let's alter this. We want to tell it something. Let me delete what we have inside here. Let me delete something here. So I want my list item to be a list with a link inside of the list so that it can be clickable. So list item, very nice. Then I need a nested anchor tag inside so that our link can be clickable. So I'll just do the A, and then let me just do that for a place so that we don't have any. Let me say that's home. A list item, inside the list item, we have an anchor tag. Inside the anchor tag, we have the content to be home. If I press enter, you see it already changed the suggestion. Before it was just list item, but after typing list item and the anchor tag inside, it knows, okay, things have changed. We're now working with list and anchor tag. What do we have here? List item, anchor tag, about us. Very simple. I simply type tab. We have it. If I press enter, let's see what it will suggest. If you're not suggesting, you can always press Ctrl Enter. Then it will give you suggestions here. Look, if you press Ctrl and Enter, it gives you suggestions. Look here what we have, GitHub Copilot 3. Come down here. We either have products and contactors, or we have services. In my case, I want to use the first solution. I'll accept solution. Do you see what we have? Products, contactors. Very nice. Very nice. That is it. So let's assume I want to do some styling, a little bit of styling here to my navbar. So I'll come back to my index of CSS. Actually, I just want to list everything here so that we can do it from scratch. Before doing that, but class name. Class name, let's say class name is a navbar. And then this one had class name of list. And the list items, do you have a class name of list item? Say margin 0. Talk of before even I talk of it, we have box sizing there. Box sizing border box. It knows the context in which we have. Then font family. We'll use that. That's okay. And now the class name navbar. So just style, use the period, the name of the class navbar. Let me see. Let's say 20 pixels. So it's simply that 20 pixels around. Then let's style style. Come here, come back to your VsCode, into your index styling the list. there's something I've typed, but it has referenced my list. It already knows that my list is a navbar. We have the display flex, specify content, space around, list style, none. No typing when you're typing, no thinking. I just know that this is what I need. Press tab. And that's it. List style none. Justifies a little bit of GitHub Copilot. Let me do something. Let's leave React alone. I just have directory, create a new file. Let's say it's copilot.js. Let's say I want to declare an const just function add numbers a b. You see what we have there, return a plus b. Copilot already knows that this is simple. It should simply return a plus b. Oh, you have a question? So we'll just do tab, and that's it. If you come down here, we want to call it add numbers. Let's say 2 and 3. So basically, this is what Copilot does. It helps you with code suggestions. It makes your work easier. It can even help you think very fast and then master the art of coding. It saves a lot of time. So that's about GitHub Copilot. Until that point, any question? Any question on GitHub Copilot? Any question? Can someone hear me? Is anybody having a question? Hello. Sylvia,
Yes?
you have a question?
No, no question. You answered mine. It's okay.
Okay. Anybody with a question, unmute your mic. And okay, the session was interesting. Thank you. Anybody with another question before we wind up and see what's next?
I have a question. Are you doing the recordings you send us? Because my net has been a problem.
Yeah, this thing is recorded. It is recorded. I'll send the recording.
Okay, where will you send it?
Okay. I'll leave my email here, so you'll contact me so that I can send you the recording.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I will. So if there's no question, I will do a follow-up. I'm going to write a good article on how to access your GitHub. I mean, the Copilot's benefit for free as a student, so that everybody here can have access to GitHub Copilot and start developing intelligent softwares using, I mean, less efforts, but a lot of work, quality work. So if there's no any question, let me wind up this. Let me switch my screens. Let me share a new screen that we can wind up. Okay, so guys, this was it for today. The GitHub. and GitHub Copilot. And like I said, but if you're a student and you have a proof to show that you're a student, I will show you how to actually register for Copilot and have the premium access to the Copilot as a student. And then to wind up, we can connect so that we can network. Remember your network. You can follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Hashnode, where I do my articles. And then my GitHub is that VsCode Tech. I also have a YouTube channel. You can always visit me there, subscribe and like my content. That's it for today, guys. Thank you all for attending my session. It was a nice one. So anybody having a question or any issue or any suggestion on what we should do next, so you can actually do that.
Your Gmail?
Any questions so far? Yeah, I've just sent it here. Yes, my Gmail. So you can contact me there so that I'll send you the link to the recording. And then Vic is saying, can you share the terminal history for reference if possible here? Okay, Vic, can you send me a mail here so that I can send you the history? Just send me a mail here. Then for easier contact, you can all WhatsApp me on my phone, on my WhatsApp. That will be easier. That's my WhatsApp number. There being any other question, it's time for me to say thank you all for attending. See you all in the next meeting, where we'll do something more interesting than this. On real projects, maybe we can talk about Azure, we can talk about hosting websites, and many more. So maybe you could have your suggestions here so that I can actually prepare for you the next event on a topic that you are interested in. Gloria is saying Azure. Very nice. I think we'll do that in our next. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you all for attending. Bye. You can contact me on my email or my WhatsApp number. That is